In a quiet suburban town, two boys, Ethan and Lucas, were inseparable. They shared everything: secrets, dreams, and an insatiable love for adventure. One evening, while playing video games at Ethan's house, they stumbled upon a chilling urban legend online, a game called The Final Challenge. Supposedly, if you played it at midnight, it would test your deepest fears. "Let's do it!" Lucas exclaimed, his eyes sparkling with excitement. Ethan hesitated, but the thrill of the unknown and Lucas's eagerness pulled him in. As the clock struck midnight, they set up a makeshift gaming area in Ethan's dimly lit basement. The screen flickered as they booted up the game. The rules were simple, complete challenges that grew progressively terrifying. Failure meant facing your greatest fear. The first challenge was harmless, a simple maze. They laughed through it, but soon the tasks escalated. Shadows seemed to dance on the walls as the challenges turned sinister, invoking phantoms from their past. The final challenge loomed ominously on the screen. Face your fear, or suffer the consequences. Ethan's heart raced. Lucas grinned, but Ethan could sense an underlying tension. "I'm not scared," Lucas said, bravado masking his uncertainty. "What's the worst that could happen?" The screen went black, and an eerie voice echoed, "Choose your weapon." They were prompted to select an object from the room. Ethan's eyes fell on a prop sword from a Halloween costume, and Lucas grabbed a kitchen knife, thinking it would add realism to the game. Just for show, Lucas laughed, waving the knife. Ethan felt a chill run down his spine but brushed it off. They were just playing. The next challenge appeared. Defend yourself. Suddenly the lights flickered, and a loud crash sounded from outside. Ethan's heart raced. What was that? Lucas shrugged, undeterred. Probably just the wind. Come on, let's finish this. As they continued, the challenges twisted into horrifying nightmares, forcing them to confront dark secrets. The line between reality and the game blurred. Lucas, lost in the thrill, began to act out the challenges more dramatically. "Ethan, look out!" he shouted, lunging at his friend with the knife in a mock fight. But as he swung, he lost his grip. The knife flew from his hand, striking Ethan in the abdomen. Time froze. Ethan gasped, shock washing over his face as blood seeped through his shirt. "Lucas, I can't breathe!" "No, no, no!" Lucas screamed, panic rising in his throat. He rushed to Ethan, pressing his hands against the wound, but it was clear the damage was done. "I didn't mean to! It was an accident!" Ethan's face contorted in pain. "Get help!" he choked out. Fear and disbelief etched into his features. As Lucas dialed 911, each ring echoed like a death knell. The operator's voice felt distant, surreal. "Stay calm, help is on the way," she said, but Lucas could barely process her words. Ethan's breaths grew shallow, the life draining from him. "I'm scared, Lucas. I didn't want to die." Tears streamed down Lucas's face as he held his friend, feeling utterly helpless. "Just hold on, please," Lucas begged, his heart racing with despair. "They're coming. You're going to be okay." But time stretched unbearably. The weight of his actions crashed down, and Lucas realized that the game had taken a horrific turn. He had been so caught up in the thrill that he hadn't considered the consequences. Finally, sirens wailed in the distance, but it felt too late. The world around him faded as Ethan's eyes closed, his body going limp. Days passed, and the house felt haunted by echoes of laughter turned to screams. Lucas couldn't escape the memory of Ethan's last moments, the fear in his eyes, the blood on his hands. He couldn't shake the feeling that the game was still watching, still waiting. That night, unable to sleep, he found himself drawn back to the basement. The console was still hooked up, the screen flickering with the ominous glow of the final challenge. Face your fear, or suffer the consequences. Lucas sat in front of the screen, paralyzed with dread. "This can't be happening," he whispered, but something compelled him to press the start button. The game resumed, and the familiar voice echoed through the darkness. "Welcome back, player. You have a new challenge." The screen revealed a horrifying image of Ethan's face, twisted in agony. "You let me die." The word sent a chill down Lucas's spine. The game had transformed into a tormenting reminder of his guilt. No, he shouted, slamming his hands on the console, but it was too late. The game had taken hold. The challenges began anew, each one forcing him to confront his worst fears. Shadows of Ethan, screams of despair, the weight of loss. With each challenge, the reality of what he had done consumed him. As dawn approached, Lucas knew he was trapped in a cycle of horror, forever haunted by the friend he had lost. The thrill of the game had turned into a living nightmare, and he realized there was no escape from the consequences of that fateful night. He had wanted to play a game, but instead, he had unleashed something far darker, something that would follow him to the end of his days.